I am going to be running the world's hardest marathon to prepare for my marathon in 2 weeks. See, I didn't train for this one, but if I can do this one here and now, then I should be fine for my marathon in 2 weeks. So, let's see how difficult the world's hardest marathon is. My watch is started for our first mile run at 5 a.m. Here we go.
So what is the world's hardest marathon? Well, it's a 24-hour challenge where every hour, on the hour, I run 1 mile.
Mile 1 down, time 9 minutes, 53 seconds. Felt a little tight in the legs though.
And then for the final hour, I run 3.2 miles to equal 1 marathon. YouTubers like Nick Simmons said this was way harder than just running a marathon flat out. But I wanted to make this even more difficult. So I gave myself some conditions to push myself to the absolute limit of my ability, to test myself both physically and mentally. Condition number 1, during each run, I need to be under 10 minutes for every mile. Condition number 2, in between runs, I am only allowed to do these 5 things: nothing, thinking, reading, journaling, and sleeping for the last 3 hours. That means no phone, no social media, no pointless distractions, just me, myself, and I, alone with my thoughts. But why am I attempting this? The first would be to challenge myself, to see if I could actually complete this challenge without going insane or getting injured. Second, to prepare for my marathon in 2 weeks. And lastly, to go on a spiritual journey, to find enlightenment, to answer some difficult questions such as, who am I? What do I want to be in the future? What is necessary? When does a flower become a flower? Am I truly kind? What is true kindness? Spending 24 hours diving down into the depths of me, facing off with the real me, the me that's hidden from the world, the me that wants all my desires. That is the world's hardest marathon.
I like running more when it's very quiet out. You can hear nothing but nature and the sounds of your own steps. That's my ideal running condition. And just like that, the city is waking up and now everything's super loud. Mile 4 done, 9:37, pretty good consistency. We'll see how that pace sticks up for the later miles. I'm trying to hit like 9:30, 10-minute miles on every single mile because that's what I'm gonna be running for the marathon. One of the questions that just came into my mind is, what's necessary in life? What things or concepts or what do we need that's necessary in life? What's the bare minimum? How much should we have? I know I'm only 4 hours in, but I'm having a lot of fun with this. I like this. Like, I have no desire to check my phone or go on social media. Like, I just like to sit here, think, run, just have no really responsibilities except to just do what comes natural to me. This is very refreshing. Like, I feel like I'm very in the moment. I have nothing that I want to do except this. But this is exactly what I wanted, to think about questions like these and reflect upon like what I'm doing in my life. Like, is this really the life I want to live? And just like that, 5 miles done. 9 minutes, 40 seconds. Not bad. We're on to mile 6. I think I've been sitting a little bit too much. My legs are a little jello-y, so I gotta remember to move around a bit after we're finished running. Still feeling good though. I'm really enjoying it still. Recently, I've been thinking about a question for one of my books, and it was, when does a flower become a flower? Is it when it blooms? When the seed is created? Somewhere in between? Or up until its very last second before it dies? Some people want to rush to make it, but is it so important that if you make it by age 20, age 30, or what about age 90, age of 100, if it takes you all of your life to do it? There are artists that will spend their entire lives just building and creating one thing, and that's their life's purpose. Every day that they were working on that, no matter how many years it took, they were always thinking to themselves, I'm gonna make it. Doesn't matter when, but when I'm done, I will have made it. But does that make them an artist after they create it? or while they're creating it. I mean, I think about it in terms of like my YouTube career. Right now, I'm not making any money off YouTube. But does that mean my work is invalid? That all my so-called work that I do right now isn't work because I'm not being paid for it? Does it only count that I'm a YouTuber once I start making money or once I hit a certain threshold? To me, no, not really. I think going after your dreams is the part of making it. Not necessarily achieving a goal, but just loving the process. One of my favorite things to do at the end of one of my runs is run down the middle of the street. We just finished our 6 mile, 9 minutes, 51 seconds. I'm gonna go work on that question that I just thought of. All right, here we go with mile 7. Made sure to warm up a little bit before I started running again after sitting for so long.
I realized that the reason why I like this so much is that it is nothing but pure pursuit of what I call the way. And what that is like, there's nothing that I'm doing except trying to be the best that I can be, whether that's physically, mentally, or spiritually, emotionally, whatever it is nothing but pure pursuit of that.
To me, there's nothing greater than trying to become the best that you can be. Like, it's just pure ecstasy to me.
And that's probably why I feel like I'm enjoying this so much, because this is what I want to do. I want nothing to do except just try and become the best that I can be.
Taking these so-called tests or journeys to try and really test my limits and push myself mentally and physically to see what comes out of it. What if we peel back the layers of myself? What am I left with? That's what I want to answer. See, the more I run, the more tired I get. And if I use my brain more, the more like mentally fog I'll get. But that's exactly what I want. I want to be pushed to the absolute edge and then see what comes out of it. What will I grow into because of it? That's the exact limit that I want to reach. The raw version of myself who's been broken down mentally, physically, and just see what's left. What am I going to build upon that raw self?
And now that I found a way to do that, like, it feels so bliss.
Mile 7 complete, 9 minutes, 24 seconds. We are on mile 8. Just had some lunch in between. I can kind of feel it in my gut, kind of slowing me down. I think once we get that digested, we'll be on our way, nice and fueled, ready to keep going. Before I started this race, one of the questions I was working on was, what's the rush? So many times I feel like we're in a rush today, and that could just be the culture that we're in, because I know there's some other cultures around the world where they're never really in a rush. I feel like we're always in a rush. We're always trying to do everything in the shortest amount of time. But what's the rush? What are we trying to rush towards? Like, things will take as long as they take. You should be proud of waiting and go adamantly when you need to. That's mile 8 done, 9 minutes, 54 seconds. Felt it a little bit in my gut though. We're on mile 9. Quad's starting to feel a little bit sore. Probably should do some stretching after this. Get the legs kind of flowing a little bit more than just sitting and then running.
While reading this book called David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell, one of my favorite authors, he talks about this phenomenon called the big fish, little pond. And it talks about comparing ourselves to the fish or the people that we are around. And in it, he talks about the phenomenon that we're feeling with that, comparing ourselves to others, called relative deprivation. And one of the study he cites is, what country experiences the most suicide? The ones that rate themselves happier or the ones that rate themselves as more unhappy? The higher suicide rates tend to come from the countries that rate themselves as happier. This is because they're comparing themselves to all the happiness that they're seeing and attributing to them being less happy. This is why it's a dangerous game to compare yourself to others, because you don't know what they've been through, what they've experienced, and they don't know the same thing for you. But it's also about being grateful for what you have and what you get to experience. I feel like nowadays in America, we kind of have that relative deprivation where we don't understand how really good we have it, which isn't always a bad thing because we can improve our situation. But we should also be grateful for the situations that we're in. And this is one of the most important questions that I need to answer in my book, What I Wish I Learned in School. Because yes, competition is a good thing, but if you're blinded to your own ability or your own potential just because of those around you, that's when it becomes troublesome. How can we keep that competitive nature while also not being destructive of our own comparison?
Here we are finishing up mile 9, 9 minutes, 37 seconds. Mile number 10, starts now. At this point, I've gotten into kind of like a routine. Like the first 10 minutes of the hour is me running. The next 30 is me thinking about or reading about a concept and kind of trying to work it out. The next 10, 15 minutes are really processing it, like kind of just closing my eyes, thinking about what I've thought about and the answers that I've come up with, and then where to go from there. And then the last 10 minutes are, usually I just sit there, do nothing, kind of get ready, stretch out, make sure I'm drinking water, get enough fluids in me, hour after hour. And I really enjoy that process. 10 miles down, 9 minutes, 31 seconds. Feeling it a little bit in my calves and my right Achilles, but I think we'll be fine if we just keep pushing through it. I've come to the conclusion that I'm not moving enough in between my runs, and my muscles are just getting like super tight and my Achilles is starting to tighten up. So I'm rolling out. I brought my lacrosse ball and a foam roller out here. Just gonna roll out and try and move a little bit more in between these hours. Yeah, rolling out my calf right now. That's pretty sore, that's pretty tight. Probably should have done this earlier. I honestly don't remember the last time I really had to roll out, because I've just gone into this philosophy that if I take care of my body, I shouldn't need to roll out. But then again, I don't always push my body super hard to these limits a lot, so. And we're off, top of the hour, 3 p.m. Honestly, I have no idea what mile I'm on. I think 11 or 12. Rolled out a little bit, feeling better. Definitely feeling like my legs are a little bit more rejuvenated now that I did a little bit more moving in between. Mile 11 complete, 9 minutes, 40 seconds. That's definitely probably the toughest mile. My Achilles is just still tight. Gonna roll it out some more. The question that's been weighing on my brain lately is, what is kindness? Like, what is truly kindness? And I don't have an answer. Like, I know what things aren't kindness. Like, what really dictates something as kind? This is a question I've thought about before in the past. And I asked myself, am I truly kind to everybody? Or do I just pick who am I kind to? And that's where it stemmed to, am I truly kind if I just pick who I'm kind to? I don't think so. But I want to be truly kind. So I need to figure out what true kindness is. 12 miles down. 9 minutes, 14 seconds. I ran without the camera, so I was a little bit quicker. Achilles still bothering me, but you know what I said? I said, forget about it. Just keep running. Run through the pain. While on my run, I thought of something that came to me, and it was this saying. We've all heard the saying. It goes, why do you feel so bad if there's others that have it worse than you? And I used to think this is true, that I couldn't feel bad because there were other people in the world that felt worse than me. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Because here's the opposite. Does that mean I can't feel good just because others have it better than me? When I heard this, I literally dropped my phone in shock and just sat there and was like, oh my gosh, how could I ever think like this? How could I ever think that I shouldn't feel bad because there's other people that have it worse for me, even though I'm always grateful for what I have, even though there are probably some other people in the world that have it better than me. So yeah, it's all right to feel bad, just like it's all right to feel good. No matter what circumstance you're in, no matter if somebody has it worse than you, better than you, it's all right. 13 miles ran, almost halfway done. Last mile was 9 minutes, 25 seconds. Feeling pretty good. 14 miles done. Last mile was 9 minutes, 19 seconds. Not feeling too bad, but in between I've been reading David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell, and we were talking about certain disadvantages. If you make them a little bit harder, they're actually better for us. And I wanted to talk about this in its own separate video, so I'll save it there. But if you want to dive a little deeper before then, look into the region beta paradox. That is 15 miles down, 9 minutes, 15 seconds. Still feeling good. It's not too hard now that I'm kind of getting a groove of what I need to do, what I need to plan for right before I go on my run, if I need to eat, if I need to drink some, roll out. All right, mile 16, 9:09. I finally feel like I'm starting to catch my groove and just hit a pace. I think I could hit sub 9 for these, but we're gonna hold off until the later miles to do that. Yeah, but so far, I'm feeling really good. Catching my stride. Achilles isn't feeling too bad. Calves aren't feeling too tight. I think I found it, but we're gonna keep going with it and see how it goes. All right, mile 17, 9 minutes, 25 seconds. If things keep going like this, I feel like as long as I have enough fuel and water, I could do this for a long time. For the past 30 minutes, I have been doing absolutely nothing. I am bored out of my mind, but I'm not giving in to doing anything else that I said I wouldn't do. All right, that was mile 18. We did it in 9 minutes, 25 seconds. Body's still feeling good. Mind though, who knows? Like, I just feel like I've reached part of my limit of just what I could do at the highest level. Just because of, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I think I've reached my limit of creative thinking and idea creation. 19 miles down, that last mile was 9 minutes, 18 seconds. Mile 20 complete, 9 minutes, 10 seconds. Feeling pretty good. Didn't get to move as much, so my knees were a little sore at the beginning of the run. That was mile 21, 8 minutes, 58 seconds. Felt a little bit harder, definitely. I mean, we were a few seconds faster, but definitely can tell that these miles are starting to add up. Mile 22 complete, time 8 minutes, 51 seconds. Can definitely start feeling it in my body. This is definitely starting to pick up harder than it was before. All right, that was mile 23. Last mile was 9 minutes, 14 seconds. We're on the bell lap now. When I see you at 4, we only got 3.2 miles, and we're gonna get after it. See you guys at 4. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 4 a.m. We're on the bell lap. We have 3.2 miles to go. My legs and knees are super sore right now. Feels like I'm using everything just to keep them up. But we're gonna get it done. We just passed mile 1 of 3.2. It's 10:35. Like I said, I'm moving pretty slow. My knees and my legs are very sore. All right, 2 miles down. 10 minutes, 46 seconds on that last mile. My feet feel like bricks. My legs feel like they're 10 pounds heavier with each step I take. We got 1.2 miles to go. Here we go. I feel like if I take one wrong step, I'm just gonna fall and it's gonna be really hard to get up, but we're almost there. Mile 3 complete, only 0.2 to go. The last mile was 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Here we go, home stretch. And just like that, that was the world's hardest marathon. 1 mile, every hour, on the hour, for 24 hours. It's been a journey. I've learned a lot. I've got a lot to improve on. That was a hard one. And if you made it this far, consider hitting the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Jay Lacey, out.